My name is Jordan Ellington. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I'm a traveler. I always travel by myself. So not long ago, a few months ago, I was in Ecuador looking through Facebook, and I saw an ad for GlobeKick, 3 months, 30 people, 3 countries, and it just hit me, it resonated with me like the second I saw it, because I've been in cool group atmospheres like this before, and it's been a while, and I wanted one again. This is the first time I've traveled with a bunch of people, and that's kind of why I did it. I travel a lot over the last 15 years. I've probably spent 5 of the last 15 years traveling with a person sometimes, with a couple people sometimes, but almost always alone. And when I was in Ecuador and I saw the ad for this, I was traveling. I was by myself for 5 weeks in Ecuador, and I knew some people here and I visited some people there. But yeah, that's why I wanted to do this group experience, because it's completely different traveling with a group than when you're on your own. Making a connection, even when I'm on my own, I make connections with people. I have amazing friends all over the world, but they were 3-day friends. They were 2-week friends. And here, everything felt amazing after 2 weeks. It really did. And it's a dense 2 weeks here because you're doing yoga and you're living with people. So it's a lot more than just meeting somebody and spending 2 weeks with them in the hostel. But the real magic has come after the first 2 weeks, the second month, and now the third month, where you really feel like maybe they're actually life friends, not just trip friends. One of my best experiences here was still the first night. Like walking in to the meeting with everybody there, and like just, it feels like you're tripping out. You are in this room with 20 people that you know are you're gonna spend the next 3 months with, and everything is completely and totally unknown. What is about to come that night is unknown. What's coming tomorrow and the next week is unknown. And I've always said, I don't know if I really believe it or not fully, but I've always said I'm at my most comfortable when I'm uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable, I think, is in large part just not knowing what's about to come. And so it was like the newness and the variability, like anything could be anything. Any person in that room could be any way. You're looking at them physically, but you have no idea what they are, and you're about to plunge yourself into this world. And and I knew from past experience, and figure out who they were over the 3 months, that like in ways that I didn't see that night. And it was just, it's a beautiful feeling to have like a clean chalkboard, and you can be whoever you want to be that day. They don't know you from the past, and you don't know them from the past. And everybody's in that same situation, so it's like it's just very raw and unwritten at that point. The program element that resonated with me most is definitely yoga, because before this trip, I have never done yoga, and I kind of rolled my eyes at yoga people and yoga in general. But I knew that there was something there, because there was enough people in my life that I respected and I liked who they were, that not only did it, but swore by it and loved it. And so I knew there was something I was missing. And so just trying that even one time was a big victory for me. And the thing that kept me going after the first time was the sense of community. First, Aaliyah leading us through, I felt, even though she was obviously like an avid yoga person, and I was obviously not, I'm physically like a goofball basically, I felt such love and acceptance from her. And she texted me the first day after the course and like really made me feel like just really comfortable with her, but also with the people next to me, some of whom were like very pretty girls, very physically fit, obviously experienced yoga people. I felt like very insecure because I still am, but I was so wobbly and I couldn't do any of the moves. I couldn't follow any of the directions. I was completely nervous the entire time, sweating like a pig. And I felt like such acceptance and love. I know that sounds cheesy, and I would normally never say this stuff, but it's totally true in that situation. I felt such love and acceptance from people, but it was really the glue that formed the group, because it was so regular. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at first, then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we all met up and we all did yoga together, no matter how goofy me and the other guy was or how physically fit others were. Like, we were all a group doing it together in a very accepting atmosphere, and it really was the glue. We had gathers and we had happy hours, but yoga was the glue that brought us together for sure. The lessons I've learned from these life friends is that I'm still alive. For the last 15 years, since college basically. And I knew I was making this sacrifice. I've been obsessed with the idea of making money online. And so I've had girlfriends, I've taken trips, I've made a few great friends in life in the last 15 years, during that 15 years. But the dominant feature in my mind was how to make money online, not just because I wanted to count my money, I don't care about the money. I just needed a way to live a free life and not be constrained somewhere. And it was this overwhelming goal in my head that I knew I was sacrificing pretty much everything else for it. And I don't know if it was strength or cowardice, but I just rationalized it that it was worth it, that I was gonna do it and make it, and then still have lots of time left to have a beautiful life and make beautiful connections. And I know that that is in some ways pathetic, that there's probably a Dalai Lama meme out there that I've read that says that's the silliness of the Western person, giving up their health for money and then trying to get their health with money, later on when they're old. But I just couldn't stop myself. So the sacrifices were a very strong lack of connection with human beings. And when I got here, and this is why I wanted to come here, I wasn't sure if I was capable of that anymore, of both directions, of loving somebody and them loving me, or caring about anybody and them caring about me. And that's definitely the lesson, that I'm still alive and I'm capable of that. My advice for people who are afraid to travel is very simple. Just get over it. The world, back to the perspective thing, one of the perspectives that we're taught, especially as Americans, so I can only speak from the American perspective. When I go to Europe and I'm flying into Paris, Americans say, oh, be so careful. But I haven't looked up the statistics, but I'm pretty sure I'm safer in Paris than I am on the streets of Orlando, Florida. So it's this irrational belief, and this is something I've read about many times now. There's this irrational belief in America that outside of those imaginary lines is danger. And everyone is waiting to rob you and hurt you and cheat you in every way. But I have found through 15 years of being in hostels and hotels in Latin America and Asia and Europe that it's just not the case. I'm not gonna say nothing has ever happened to me, but really nothing has ever happened to me. I leave my computer on my bed in a dormitory and nobody steals it. Sometimes if I'm being sneaky, I'll put it under my pillow. But the world is not nearly as dangerous as everybody says it is. So get out there and experience it. Just take a little baby trip for 2 or 3 days somewhere that you think is the safest place in the world and feel what it feels like to be out there roaming around freely where you don't have to be full of fear. Americans are too scared of getting out there and traveling, and the world they're taught exists does not match the world I see.
Woohoo!